Alright, so good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's round 7 of Assetto Corsa action here with FTRL. We are at Imola, the new circuit with the latest DLC on the PlayStation at least. Yeah, but already sort of 5 minutes or so into qualifying for this session. You guys have set laps. It should be a very familiar circuit to anyone who's raced this one in F1 previously. It seems like this is the new circuit without the last chicane, so you just have the nice long blast all the way down the straight. Tonight's race is 75 minutes, which, if I remember the tyre rules, is... I think I'm sure it's no forced tyre change. Let me just find the announcements. So there'll be no tyre changes and probably 1 litre of refuel, so it's then up to you as to which one you fancy doing. Mandatory stop for refuel, yes. Just 14 drivers with us tonight, so slightly thinner than usual, but hopefully that won't distract or detract from the quality of the racing. It's like, Flying Frome, in fact, has just popped himself onto provisional pole. He was just behind Iggy on his first lap there. Moves ahead now with 8 minutes of qualifying to go. The track, which I could have sworn it just said it was optimum, but it's now seems to have reduced itself to just fast, so we'll see if anyone can improve their times then if the track's getting slightly slower. Not sure how that would happen. Tonight's race is brought to you by Isle of Jura, fine whiskey, and I'm slowly but surely getting through the bottle, so hopefully well, by next week, there'll probably still be enough left for next week's 2 hours of Bathurst, but tonight we've got 75 minutes around the famous Autodromo Enzo di Ferrari, or something like that. Which, if I remember right from a Twitter thread lately, Enzo Ferrari actually literally translates to Henry Smith, so not quite as majestic name as it would be. It's essentially the Italian equivalent of Henry Smith. So, yeah, shame you couldn't be with us tonight, Tocco or Mitch, whatever you prefer to go by. Ollie Cole really giving it the beans across the chicane there, and it didn't work for him. Lovely spin though. Corrected it nicely. I'm sure he'll appreciate us having that one. I might just watch that back again in a second. Always fun to see this sort of thing happen. Ponage Town, I think, has just reset to the pits. He has. So let's watch Blue Mosquito then in his McLaren. As into Villeneuve. Nice and neat down towards Tosa. The long left-hand hairpin, blast it then up the hill. And then I've forgotten what the corner names are when you get to the top of the hill, but quite tricky this one if I remember rightly. It always wants to try and push you out wide as you're trying to get the power down. Down the hill, I had a fine moment in my league race here when we're on the PC. I managed to stick the car sideways across the apex on lap 1. Not sure I've got the clip for that tonight. Perhaps another day I will share my disaster with you. Interesting. Blade seemed to work before, so we'll just double check. Keyboard shortcut is working. It is. I must have just missed the buttons. That's fine. At least it is working. Come back to those some point later on. Where are we now? Blue Mosquito then blasting down towards the line. And with 5 minutes to go in qualifying, where did he go? Oh, he does improve. He moves himself up to 5th. Nice lap then from Blue Mosquito. Blue flag. I missed going into provisional pole. Don't count Iggy out yet. In fact, is he on track? He is indeed on track and moves up to 2nd place. So, as I was just saying, always beware of Iggy. And he's coming up fast then behind Junkie Sport. his McLaren not too big on the gaps tonight, which is nice to see. Second or so between all the drivers. And, hopefully Lee Cole and Brandon Glover will get their lap in. Brandon in the Jaguar. Lee we saw having a spin in that McLaren, and looks like Iggy has decided that he's going to go back to the pits, reset, and probably have another go. I'm sure he won't want to just leave it at second place. I hope everyone who enjoyed today's little extra freedoms that we're allowed to go and visit people in their gardens has been suitably responsible with them all. Of course, we still have to get through the end of this, but it's nice that we can slowly start to get back to a bit of normality. So everyone enjoy. Hopefully the weather picks up and we can all enjoy some barbecues, etc. in the garden. Enjoy that nice ventilation away from COVID. And while we're on that, let's continue to watch Junkie Sport as the yellow flags are flying for some reason. That is an interesting choice of camera. I'm glad that's the one the game gives you, because you cannot see a thing. So Junkie Sport crosses line. Where is the line around here? Just there as you go across it. Doesn't improve. And we've got quite a few on track. So Blue Flag is on track, flying Frome. Blue Mosquito is off track just at the minute. I'm assuming he's going to reset to the pits. Yep, there he goes. So Blue Mosquito looks like the only one in the pits. Someone will settle that. Brandon Glover moved himself up into 9th on his lap. Good to see AMS with us again tonight. Driving that Mercedes around. He's found his feet, and there's whoever was needed to set the last lap. Cablo just gets out of flying Frome's way. Frome, of course, will be hoping that his connection holds out this week. We had a great race going last week, and then unfortunately the number 38 Audi just disappeared off our screens. Denied us a bit of a photo finish. Seems like he's on it again this week. The conditions are looking glorious. And the top three are within 400ths of a second, which is ridiculous, frankly. But that'll keep us nice and busy tonight on track. And round what is the last, essentially, important corner. After that, it's just to drive full throttle through the gentle right-hander. Flying Frome then. Across the line. Does he improve? Not on this lap, but he's going to have another go. Anyone else on a lap or just about to start? So Brandon Glover is on a lap, so we'll just watch Brandon as he comes across the end. Again, that's a rubbish camera angle. We'll get used to that one. And looks like Flying Frome must have cut the corner, because he's dropped off and he has now finished his qualifying. So Brandon Glover then to finish his lap. He'll have another one if he fancies it after this. Doesn't improve this lap. And there's a few guys out now who will be starting their laps. And Mighty Iggy will be finishing a lap. He may get another go. I think he should do. Blue Flag probably won't, though. Let's see where Iggy ends up. Yep, there he goes. I don't know why the wait time cut so short, but Iggy stays third. Just one who's going to get another lap, but apparently not. Across the line comes Blue Flag then. Who's on provisional pole, does improve himself slightly as well. A nice lap there from Blue Flag. He's certainly looking solid. C Crips is on a lap, so we'll keep an eye on him as he comes towards the end of it. In fact, no, he isn't. His thing says he's blue, so he isn't on a lap. Excuse me. Junkie Sport. finishes off his lap. Cablo, who had a good showing last week, not sort of found his rhythm around this track by the look of it. Across the line goes Cablo, moves himself up to 11th place. We've got unsafe release, and we've got Pagani then, our left on track, doing a lap. Everyone else is finished. Unsafe release in the Ferrari. Nose dips in into the chicane. Right and left, Pagani is off the track. So we are down literally to unsafe release to finish off this qualifying session. Just the 2 corners to go. I believe these are the Rivazzas, and I may well continue to call them that, even if that's not what they're called. Nice look there at his fuel filler cap. Absolutely what you want. And then down, through, and across the line goes unsafe release. And he does improve, but stays in 13th place. So your pole sitter tonight is Blue Flag. 1:43.1, flying from second, Iggy third, Secrets fourth. Brandon Glover had a nice lap towards the end there, puts it into 5th. Blue Mosquito 6th, Ponish Town 7. Sophie, a good lap there from Sophie, up in 8th. Pagani 9. Junkie Sport in 10th. Cablo, AMS, unsafe release, and Lee Cole will be the rest of your grid outside the top 10. So we've got a few minutes just to pass the time, and we will be back momentarily. Well, in 4 minutes and a bit. But until then, just enjoy some of the music, and we'll see you soon. Alright then, so welcome back. This is the formation lap for the 75 minutes around Imola. As we saw in qualifying before, blue flag took pole position, flying from second in the Audi and Mighty Iggy third in the Nissan. So a nice mix of cars at the front of the grid. We'll bring up a track map just for finishing off the oh, I was close. It's the Enzo Edino Ferrari Autodromo. Anyway, there you go. Terrible accents aside, that's the circuit that we're at. So let's just have a look through the track map. So the little right-hander actually is technically turn 1. Variante Bassa, then down towards the Tamburello, which is turn 2, 3 and 4, the left, right, left. Variante Villeneuve is the left and right just before Tosa. The hill is turn 8 to turn 9, the left-hander, which is Piratella. Down the hill again you go, which is the then double right-hander of 11, 12 and 13 of Aqua Minerale. Variante Alta is the chicane in the middle of the straight there, 14, 15, and then where we are now is the two Rivazzas, which is apparently 16, 17 and 18, and then the little right-hand kink on the way down to the main straight, and the start-finish line is turn 19, is your 19 turns around Imola. And speaking of that, I'm not sure how many laps we've got tonight, but it seems to be a fair few on the way. And we are just about getting ready to go green with blue flag flying through. Mighty Iggy, Sea Crips, Brandon Glover, Blue Mosquito, Ponish Town, Sophie, Pagani, Junkie Sport, Cablo, AMS, Unsafe Release, and Lee Cole, your 14 racers tonight. Here's hoping everything goes nicely down into turn 2, isn't it? Apparently turn 1's a little right-hander that everyone ought to get through fairly easily. We are about to go green any moment now. It is taking its time. I'm guessing it's going to be that line. There we go. We are green. We have got 75 minutes of racing to go, and blue flag leads them off, flying for home, and everyone seems to have got away reasonably the same. Looks like Cripps just pops it on the grass. I'll have to watch out for that as he gets down towards the braking zone. That might just unset his car. Oh, that goes, which one's that? Iggy hits a big hit across the curb, but manages to get away with it. Yeah, everyone sees it. Punish Down's in the bit of the walls at the back there. He seems to have come through okay. He's dropped a few places, but he's okay in terms of pointing the right way at least. So up front, it is still blue flag leads, flying from Iggy, C. Cripps. It's like that's Unsafe Release having a look at Cablo, and also AMS behind the man in the, what's Cablo in? The Bentley. Switch back from Unsafe Release then, nice looking move as they go dragging up the hills. Blue flag still leads. These guys are going to go side by side as they get to Piratella, and Cablo moves right across defensively. Big aggressive defensive move from Cablo. And they're still side by side. Keep an eye on this one as they go. AMS is going to have a look at the inside of Unsafe Release, then into Aqua Minerale. Up the hill then, and they're still managing to keep it out of each other's way, and they're swapping places like nobody's business. There's a Bentley on the way through. That's Pagani having a right look at the situation, and he's past AMS. So great stuff from everyone there. Oh, that was fantastic. And all of a sudden we are down to Rivazza with the top view. There's flying from Iggy. That's such a bad camera angle. Why would they give me that? I can't see at all what's going on. Anyway, that's a better one. Blue flag from Iggy, Cripps, Brandon Glover. Sophie moves away up to 6th. Great start for Sophie. Blue Mosquito, Cablo, Unsafe Release, AMS, Pagani, Junkie Sport, Ponish Town, and Lee Cole. They're not necessarily all in that order, but everyone is still pointing the right way after lap 1. Great to see. These guys are going to have a right look at each other by the look of it, so we'll just stick with this. As we've got two McLarens, and Lee Cole really has a look at the inside of Junkie Sport, but is he there? Not quite. Big hit of the curb. And he's okay. Let's just go back and see. Flying Throne's got Iggy for company. Very close company indeed as they get towards Tosa out of Villeneuve. And that C. Cripps has gone wide. He's gone wide at the chicane, and there's all sorts of stuff going on at the back as Cablo's struggling to keep it pointing the right way. These guys are having a great scrap as Pagani goes around the outside of Cablo. Two Bentleys having a look at each other, and Unsafe Releases having a look at the McLaren of Blue Mosquito. Cut off very aggressively by Cablo last time as they went up the hill. Cablo and Pagani and AMS all going through nicely done, but Frome has got Mighty Iggy right behind him. We'll keep an eye on these two as they're up near the front in the podium places. And I'm going to have a little sip of whiskey. That one went down interestingly, but much needed, because that's been a very busy opening minute or two of this race. Blue Flag will be loving this little battle between these two. If they can start scrapping and give Blue Flag the kind of lead he wants. Sophie, yes, up into 5th, of course, as a result of C. Cripps running wide before. So he's had a very good first few laps of Sophie. Now then, let's see what Iggy can do. Can he get a run on Frome as they come down this main straight? It's a big, long drag all the way down to the Tamburello. Say there's turn 19 and turn 1, but you wouldn't notice them even probably in a road car. They're not really there at all. Frome seems to have the straight line speed there, so Iggy not really having a chance to either have a look or send one up the inside. Iggy's very much more aggressive across the curbs than Frome though. And there's a lot of cars going through. Yeah, Blue Mosquito looks to be a bit of a cork in the bottle as there they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. That is cars, 6 of them actually, isn't it? That's position 7th all the way down to 12th. And then you've got the 2 McLarens scrapping out. Great stuff. Sophie has got Cripps right behind her. And this is an impressive train. I'd almost call it the Flying Scotsman, given the man at the front. Mosquito down the hill and unsafe release. He's harrying him, not really a place to overtake that though. Maybe put a bit of pressure on. Seems to be getting through nicely. Unsafe release goes a bit wide, hits the curbs hard, and Pagani's going to have a look at him now. Towards Variante Alta, but nothing, no, he's not got the run on him. Everyone bouncing it across the curbs. Cablo's just fallen off the back of that pack a little bit, but no real problem there. Goodness me, these guys are all very close. Pagani's going to have a look around, well, down the inside of the right-hander, that's turn 16, and try and force it around the outside of Rivazza. Still can't see what's going on there. Further up the field, Cripps pushing behind Sophie. It's like Iggy's still behind Frome at the minute. Yeah, no move there for him. Cripps too far back from Sophie to have a look as well. Behind them there's a lot of people that are looking racy, as Pagani's having a look at AMS, is he? Bangs it across the curb, manages to avoid contact, and Ponish Town's then going to have a look at Pagani. And they're side by side. Oh, Pagani is in the gravel, he's in the grass. Can he rescue it? Can he avoid everyone he has? He's kept it clean somehow and carries on and joins in, and he's behind Ponage and in front of Cablo still, so not quite sure what the line that he took was there, but it worked, and somehow he's still got this race going on. Great stuff. He's going to be looking to try and catch up to the guys in front, but blimey, he's done a good job to keep control of the car there. He's must have been all over the place, desperately trying to keep it pointed in the right way. The Mosquito still has unsafe release right behind him, and AMS and Ponage Town getting close. Pagani and Cablo are they going to try and get back up to these guys and make it that sort of lovely 6-way battle that we saw earlier. Meanwhile, up front, Flying Frome has got the gap down to under 2 seconds to Blue Flag. He's got Iggy right behind him. You wonder how these two will sort of work in tandem. There's obviously a benefit for these guys to not scrap too much and let Blue Flag get too far away, but how much is it's going to work, who knows? Some of it may depend on what they think the other's doing on pit strategy, but let's just have a look at this battle further back, because this is great stuff as Blue Mosquito's just got a bit more of a run then on safe release than he had the last lap. AMS, Ponage, Pagani, Cablo, and then Lee Cole and Junkie Sport, the McLarens. Yeah, Iggy much more aggressive across these high curbs. And there's the pit window. We've got 1 whole hour worth of pit window, and Blue Flag must have made a mistake because Frome is now under a second, so something big must have happened there at the first chicane, Tamburello. That's allowed Blue Flag, allowed Flying Frome to close up very close to Blue Flag now. So top 3 separated by just under a second and a half. See how these guys are all doing a bit further back for this battle for 7th. And yeah, they're still all looking very, very interested in each other. Miss C. Cripps getting past Sophie before, watching the rest of that battle, but C. Cripps has made his way and undone that mistake that he had when he ran wide earlier a bit. So he's made his way through Sophie. Oh, bit of contact there between Ponage and Pagani. Pagani's in the wall again, and Cablo. What did I just say? Oh, Cablo's in the wall. So there's Pagani. There's Ponage. Cablo is coming across the chicane now. Not sure what happened to Cablo. With a weird one there. Catch what happened. A bit of contact, I think, and it's like Ponage and Pagani having a look. Pagani's going to come in the pits and get that damage repaired. Cablo carries on, so he mustn't have had. You imagine he hasn't got any damage for that one. As Froma Maitiaki still very, very close through Tamburello. So I'd have a look at stuff that happens after this race calms down, but it's not calmed down yet. Mosquito still has unsafe release and AMS right behind him, and Froma's still got Iggy right behind him. He just dropped off the back a little bit there, and obviously with Pagani going in the pits to get damage fixed up. Yeah. Great stuff. That's been a very exciting opening 10 minutes, as I was hoping we'd get. Lee Cole's still got Junkie Sport right behind him. Flag just opening the gap a little bit there. Brandon Glover, I think, closing in a bit as well on these front three. Car 821 is AMS, has got a drive-through for track limits. That's early to have a drive-through. AMS obviously struggling. Where's he just been through? He's just been through Eka Minerale, so he must have pushed it too much. Unless he really cut it, and that's just his first warning. That's going to push AMS out of that battle. So unfortunate for him. He can be quite strict on track limits. Oh, and goodness me, yes, that's close. He's not going to go for it this lap, though. Good Mosquito and unsafe release, and AMS then all looking at each other. 2 laps left for AMS's drive-through. Yeah, everyone hits the brakes. And into Tamburello, AMS looking to make a bit of mischief maybe. All over the back of unsafe release. Ponage down. Pagani, yeah, he is down a lap there, yeah. A fair bit of damage to repair. As AMS looks around the outside then of unsafe release. You can't go past him. Froma's caught up now to blue flag. So that's going to be interesting to see. Let's have a quick look while we're here of some of the action that we saw before. This is one of them, as blue flag is being taken down by Flying Frog at the minute, but this is where Pagani and Ponage Town just got a little close. We saw Pagani sort of spear off track. He goes left, he's wibbling and wobbling and somehow keeps it pointing the right way, cuts it across Villeneuve. And then manages to find himself back at the right part of the track in the right direction. So great recovery from Pagani, that one. Come back and just had a look. Unsafe release seems to have AMS right behind him. Still AMS needs to make sure he goes in the pits next lap, but he's going to have a look around the outside of unsafe release. This lap, bit of contact between AMS and unsafe release, and AMS goes long way, spins, doesn't hit the wall though. Just going to recover that round, so just a little unfortunate brush there for AMS. Slides off the track. back through the gravel. So that's that sort of close scrap. Let's go back up to the front though with the blue flag, Flying Chrome and Iggy. So as these guys all get sort of racy with each other, let's just have a see if we can. Let's just sort of see a bit of what happened further back with this one with Pagani. So Pony just catches Pagani there, then maybe there's a little bit more contact. Flick back to find Pagani. Not sure, feels like Cablo just lost it on the way up the hill. It doesn't seem particularly like there's anything going on, but I'm just going to flick back because it looks like not this. I thought Iggy had a really good run on Flying Chrome there, but not this time. The lead is all still separated by less than a second. Yeah, not quite sure what happened to Cablo on that one. It almost looked like he lost it coming up the hill. Oh, speaking of losing it, that is Flying Chrome's going to have a really good look then at Blue Flag. Blue Flag must have taken too much at Tamburello. Chrome's going to look up the inside at Villeneuve. Into the left, into the right. Wish the camera was a bit further zoomed out so I could see what was going on, but it looks like Flying Chrome has managed to make his way through and takes the lead then of the Imola race. I don't know if it's a Grand Prix or whatever you want to call it, but Flying Chrome moves into the lead ahead of Blue Flag, who's also just had a moment coming into the Tamburello. And Iggy then all over the back of Blue Flag as well. So Chrome taking advantage. Iggy's going to have a look then, see what he can do. And there's a stop go for, that's AMS. And that must be, maybe he's just come out of the pit, so I'm guessing he's done his drive through and changed up the gears too early, so he's now got himself a stop go penalty. So AMS race has just gone from bad to worse. Flag. Wait a minute, Flying Chrome's off the track. What happened to Flying Chrome there? I didn't see. Was in first, he's now down in fifth. What happened to Chrome there then? I was leading by a long way. I'm just having a quick look at this replay just to see if I can work out what happened. I was focused on Blue Flag, so let's just have a look together and see if we can work out what happened to Chrome as he through there. So he comes down, turns right to go down the hill. It was on the. He's just stopped. That's bizarre. That's his wheel disconnect or something. That's the strangest thing. Yeah, he's just stopped on the track for no apparent reason. Having led, now he's going to have to try and come back through the field. He's down in fifth, and as we've seen, it's not necessarily the easiest place to overtake, so that was a strange one. We'll have to find out from Chrome what happened to him. Yeah, it just seemed like he just turned into on the way down towards Ravazza, and his car just stopped. Came down here and nothing. Truly bizarre. Is that Junkie Sport off at Aqua Minerale? It is. Yeah. So very interesting. Rome. And AMS is in the pits serving his stop go. And so this is the battle for the lead again then. So Blue Flag leads Mighty Iggy. Yeah, you're at MS. Yeah, so that was a shame to catch a couple of penalties there. Also Brandon Glover closing in then on these two at the front. And AMS has cleared his stop go now, so out onto the track, and we'll see where he comes out. Maybe he'll get some racing later on. Of course, he still has to do his pit stop, so having been through the pits twice, still got a mandatory pit stop to go. Battle-wise, unsafe release and Ponage Town. Ponage Town must have just got through then, because he was behind, but is now just in front of the Ferrari. The Aston Martin versus the Ferrari. Let's see what unsafe release Fancy's doing. Iggy is still very, very close to blue flag at the front. Bouncing it over the curbs. I think Brandon Glover is closing in as well. So the Jaguar just finding a rhythm now. He'll be lucky for the Iggy or blue flag to have a bit of a scrap, fight it out with each other, and oh, there goes blue flag, goes wide again. And I think he's going to give that position up because oh no, he's not, and Iggy's off. Iggy's had a big crash, coming together with blue flag, is he slowed down to let Iggy catch up again? I'm not sure, but oh, incident with the leaders. Blue flag looks like he has slowed down then to let Iggy catch up. Let's let him catch up. Is he going to let him past? Just caught him at the back there. Yes, he is. So apologetically, blue flag lets Iggy back through, and the race situation now then is Brandon Glover leads from C. Cripps, yes he does, and then Frome is in third, Iggy in fourth, blue flag fifth, and Sophie sixth, and she's caught right up then to these guys as they be spending the race tripping over each other. A bit further back as Ponage has still got unsafe release right behind, so Glover leads by 4 seconds, and then you've got this a big troop of cars of Cripps, Frome, Iggy and blue flag. That's one of the more bizarre things I've seen. That's the top three have now all had an incident. What was the top three? Now third, fourth and fifth. Looks like AMS has decided to call that one a day. Oh. So much action so far. So yeah, we weren't kidding that we were going to have it, and the way these guys are going, as Frome has caught right up to Cripps almost straight away, so perhaps the chance of the win hasn't gone yet for Frome. Well, I suppose it's still got plenty of time. We're not even halfway into this race yet. In fact, we're nowhere near halfway into this race. We're we're only 20 minutes in. Yeah, so I actually saw that one, AMS. Just a little go around the outside, caught him, and yeah, just lost your braking zone. Come on, I'll try and cue that one up. It's that one. That was the Frome one. Try and find it. We'll keep an eye on Frome trying to catch up to Cripps at the minute. It's also renaming files. Right, I can't rename them when they're open. That makes perfect sense. And Frome's going to have a look then at C. Cripps going to go around the outside. This is where it all went wrong for AMS, of course. left, try and put a bit of pressure on Cripps in front of him. The gap to Brandon Glover has extended out to 5 seconds. So these guys, Frome and Iggy, are definitely going to want to make the move past Cripps as soon as possible, because it looks like he may be holding them up a bit if they want to win. But not coming as easily as perhaps they might have hoped. Maybe this one was the... Oh, no, that was Frome taking the lead. There's been quite a few incidents tonight. That one's Frome off. Marking these things up. So find out, maybe that one's the AMS crash. Ah yes, that's the one. We'll pop that one up in a minute. Yeah, I mean it's a fairly decent what's it, radar sort of spotter thing, isn't it, as well? So yeah, it's surprising that people don't know you're there. So while we just watch some Frome and see Cripps, here's what we saw then of AMS and unsafe release. Just there, a little bump there, just pushes him wide. Frome is going around the outside of Cripps rather on the other screen in case anyone's looking. Lovely move then from Frome. That was AMS going off. We'll just pop back to live as Frome went around the outside of C. Cripps. Tamburello, lovely move, and then Iggy's going to have a look at him as well now. Maybe should have snipped back to that one. Yeah, that's the move Frome needs to get done. So he's now 6 seconds back from Brandon Glover, and he's going to want to start eat into that lead as much as he can. Sophie's just falling off the back then of Mike, but putting in a very solid performance so far is Sophie. Looking good for that 6th position. Let's take a little swig of whiskey. And up the hill we go as Frome, that gap which was 6 seconds is now 5.6, so certainly eaten into that one already. That's just about the track that Frome really likes. But let's see how he does as that Audi, which has been looking pretty fast so far, other than that one strange moment at Rivazza. Or on the way down to it rather. Looks like blue flag's getting close to Iggy as well, so maybe we'll see hostilities resume between those guys. 5.6 was the gap, it's still 5.6. Oh, here we go, so blue flag's going to have a look at Iggy. It's going to be Mercedes around the outside of Nissan, hit the brakes late. Iggy over the curb, blue flag, and slides in beautifully. Moves ahead of mighty Iggy. That was a lovely move then from blue flag. A bit of straight on. He looks like he's run wide a bit there at Villeneuve, so maybe Iggy's going to have a look at him again then on the outside at Tosa. No, nothing going this time. Lovely move then from blue flag. That moves him up to 4th. Gap between Frome and Brandon Glover is now 5.3, but he's not dropping Cripps, and Sophie's making her way back in this battle then between Iggy and blue flag. So she'll be hoping they all scrap out. BMW looking good. Further back we've got unsafe release seems to have disappeared there, so must have had an issue that I've missed unfortunately. That's Ponish Town. Oh no, the gap was 3.7. I thought he was right behind. That's Pagani. Yeah, he's battling a lap back after some early damage. There's blue flag with Iggy right behind. Iggy pits now. So Iggy first of the leaders to dive into the pits. Let's just stick the timer on him and see if he's going for a tyre change or not. If I can ever find my clock app, there we go. 30-second pit stop would tell you that he was changing tyres. Anything less than that and he's just put fuel in. Here he comes down towards his pit box and he's stopped. So exciting as it is to watch a car that's stationary, it might give us an idea as to what the strategies are going to play out, and that was definitely not a tyre change, that was just Iggy throwing a bit of fuel in, maybe a little bit of damage repair perhaps, but for the most part he would be hoping to come out in some clear air, but I'm not sure if he's going to get that luxury as Cablo's coming down the pit lane now, a bit straight now, and Iggy will be coming out pretty much behind him. That's not ideal for Iggy. He would have wanted to come out, I mean ideally ahead of Lee Cole would have been where he would have been looking for. That would be a big gap apparently, but so not really where you'd want to be coming out if you were hoping to do a bit of Iggy time, if you like, and blast an overtake. See if you can hit them with a bit of the undercut. But that's his pit stop out of the way anyway, and he may get a bit lucky if others choose to pit in front of him, so if Cablo or whoever decide to pit around halfway, but for now that's not worked out ideally for him. He will lose a bit of time trying to overtake as he catches up to them. On-track battles have just eased off for a second now as you get into the more strategic part of the race, and people work out what the strategies they're going to go for are. 75-minute race this one, of course, so halfway, if you fancied pitting halfway for your tyres, would be 37.5 minutes, which would be in about maybe 4 laps time. See Iggy straight away driving up towards Cablo. Now of course Cablo may not fight it out with him too much, it's not really where Cablo's race is, so he'll stick to his line you'd imagine, but as soon as Iggy gets close he won't put up too much of a fight, because that'll just end up costing him time. He's not on the road against Iggy particularly, so. But you never know, sometimes, as a well-known racer has said, it's not always, you don't have to race to win, race to disrupt. But we'll see if that's what Cablo's after tonight, after that sort of strange incident that he had coming out of Imola that we saw. So around the time that Pagani had his crash, Cablo of course went off the track. Looks fairly well beaten up, but he's not sort of put the or closed the gap to the McLarens in front of him as you might expect he would. So everyone else still going through. So Iggy's the one on the that's from Cablo. Yeah, Iggy will get past Cablo fairly easy. I don't think that cost him any time at all, really. A little mistake from Cablo, just went a bit too deep into the chicane, and Iggy makes that position back, and then he's got a nice sort of 5-second gap then up to Junkie Sport and Lee Cole. So that'll be about as easy as he wanted to make that move. Blue flag moving up behind C Croops then. That's where the new closest on track is. Can he particularly get anything done? The other one, if I can remember to actually check these things, is how far off the lead Iggy is. It'd be nice if we actually told you on the game, but we can't ask for everything. Flag getting very close then to the back of C Crips. we'll just keep an eye on Brandon Glover, whose lead is slowly but surely coming down with From, and blue flags, and have a look at the inside of Cripps there, just to let him know he's there. Move happening. Just try and put a bit of pressure on the way out of Rivatsa. Excuse me while I have a yawn. Very late, it's 9 o'clock. Some of us are old. Forgotten to check where that one is, but the gap between C Cripps and the lead is known. Looks like blue flag's gonna keep hustling and harrying him as best he can. Where's Iggy? As he's coming around there. So keep an eye on where the gap is between Iggy and the leader as well, just to see how that strategy is bearing out for him, because of course he will still want to put the pressure on Brandon or Frome as they're closing each other down. The strategy, of course, would be to come out, clear air, ponish down pits. Just check that gap now as I've got that noted, and it's 56.6 seconds. It's probably more precise than I need to be with my stopwatch, but that's at the end of lap 19. Blue flag still trying to make a nuisance of himself. Behind C Cripps, who's just struggled to get out of this chicane there. Mercedes does look very fast in a straight line. The Ferrari looks neat there. No one deciding to go in the pits this lap. So Ponish Town has done his pit stop. Everyone else still coming through. That's Sophie's come through. Blue flag. Gonna try and go around the outside on Cripps like he did with Iggy. Can't make that stick this time. Now try and whip it back to the inside. Cripps was like he went a little bit wide, so blue flag may have the run, but he may just also have a Ferrari in the way of where he wanted to be driving. And I think perhaps he did. Just oh, big slide from Cripps, and that's gonna let blue flag through. I don't think there's any contact. I think he just had a massive, massive snap of oversteer. And that will be Cripps through, and Iggy has cruised up then behind. I want Iggy then now. He has cruised up then behind Junkie Sport and Lee Cole. And now he's got the two McLarens who have been scrapping most of this race, and he's going to, well, I'd say he struggles to get past them, but let's see, because neither of them's going to want to give anything up particularly, but Junkie Sport runs wide and gives the grass a little bit of a mow, does the council out of a job. Safe release has pitted, so Iggy didn't really lose much time there, so he's just going to make his way then through past Lee Cole, and then he's got all the track he could possibly want. As the next car up the road is Blue Mosquito, and he's a long, long way up the road, but he just has to make his way past Lee Cole. Might not be, well, I say it might not be the easiest. He's going to try and force his way. It's possibly an optimistic place to try and overtake there. And I've now forgotten the name of that corner, but this might be a better one if you can try and get a decent run out of here, or possibly out of Variante Alta. Sophie is right behind Cripps. Yeah, there he goes. Well, I thought Iggy had a good run on Lee Cole, but he's still not past him. I'll try and go around the outside on the right-hander down then towards Rivatsa, get on the brakes later. I think he's now up the inside of that McLaren, is he? Yes, he is. Makes his way through the McLaren. And there we go, halfway in the race, and now Iggy has got a lot of track, but looks like that is behind his Junkie Sports. Going to have a look at Lee Cole now. He's going to say thank you for that. As the McLarens are going to go racing down towards Tamburello side by side. Little contact. Keep it clean, guys. So pseudo teammates. There are other McLaren still contact. Oh, I think I thought Junkie looks like he kept Lee straight, but no, Lee's gone round, unfortunately. Cablo will make his way through. Just a bit of a shame there, the battle, as the Junkie Sport just tried to take advantage of Lee Cole's issues of letting Iggy past. Sophie's all over the back of Cripps. BMW looking very strong tonight. Rome's got the gap down to 2.8 now, as Brandon Glover in fact has pitted, so that might be why the gap was so low. So Frome will continue on. One of the questions will be where Brandon Glover comes out. Still in the pits. I'm confusing myself. Iggy looks like he's a long way back, considering Glover's in the pits now. But this looks like a tyre change. He is there a long time, as Iggy comes down the pit straight now. Goes past Brandon Glover. He's still stationary. He's just come out of his pit box now, yeah. C. Cripps is just coming out of the pits as well, and Iggy has got through. So we are now over halfway. We'll start to see how these strategies are playing out. As Frome leads, blue flag 6 seconds back, Sophie 3 seconds back from blue flag. Now it's really down to the pit stops. The guys who just pitted, that felt like it took a long time to pit. I know they've come out. Well, Brandon Glover certainly has. So he's definitely changed tyres, and I don't think that's worked out particularly well for him. Because Frome wasn't exactly racing in on him as Sophie pits. See what Sophie decides to do. Mosquito carries on through, so he's going longer. Car 94 is Lee Cole, he's just coming out the pits now. Let's just see what Sophie decides to do with her strategy. Coming around Rivatsa now. Car 94's Lee Cole, he's obviously disengaged the pit lane speed limiter too soon, as Iggy is going to come through and pass Sophie, as it looks like this is a tyre change as well. Brandon Glover had some damage to fix as well, because he seems like he took a very long time in the pits. Sophie's still stationary, that's 35 seconds or so. And off she gets, 40 seconds. Long pit stop for Sophie there. Very long pit stop for Sophie. So where's the main strategy scrap now? She got Frome leads by 6 seconds. I thought he was coming in the pits then, but no. And across the line goes Frome. And we'll stop the stopwatch. Iggy is coming through Ackerman early, so we'll see where that gap is. Given where everyone else was sort of relative to pit stops, as 94 is Lee Cole's off the track at Variante Alta. Given where everyone else has come out, it seemed that Frome may be getting caught by Iggy as well, but we shall see. Depends what he does. I mean, it seems like a long gap. I mean, if it was a splash and dash that he was going for, that gap seems more than enough. We'll just have to see how the tyres hold up. Yeah, no one really sort of scrapping on track at the minute. Frome is just coming up behind Ponish Town to put a lap on him. Of course, Frome hasn't pitted yet, so that lap will be given back when Frome does pit, one would imagine. And happy to inform you that I completely forgot to check where the gap with Iggy and Frome was. So we'll see if we can get that next lap, depending on if Frome pits this lap. Because if he doesn't, then it would. Oh well, in fact he does. So let's see what Frome does. Is he going to come in for just tyres? Not just tyres, just fuel. Iggy is back at Aqua Minerale at the minute. Let's see what happens with Frome as he stops his car. Did he hit his mark? Looks like he did. And there's Frome gets dropped down, and that is another short stop. So we know Iggy didn't pit for tyres. Frome is going to have a... Well, it should have. Looks like he's got a big lead anyway. Blue Mosquito carried on, as did Blue Flag. Frome comes out the pits now. Iggy will be blasting his way down the pit straight, but that's a fairly healthy lead then that Flying Frome holds then over Mighty Iggy. We'll see what that is as they get to the first timing sector just after Tamburello. Frome had a fairly short pit stop. Only in this pits for about 9 seconds was Frome there. Here comes Iggy across that timing line, and that's a lead of 6.7 that Frome has over Iggy. So where are we with everyone else on track? Blue Flag is up at Rivazza. Blue Mosquito has gone past, starts Cablo's off the track. And he's going to have Lee Cole behind him. But they're not on the same lap either. Oh, excuse me, another big yawn. Whiskey must be kicking in. And Carfitron's Junkie Sports pointing the wrong way at the chicane now as well. The camera pans across, there it is. There goes Iggy. No issues there though, and onto the track comes Junkie Sports again. Well, let's just see where we are. I'm going to have a big yawn again, excuse me. Oh, more coffee please. We have still got half an hour of this race to go. The only two people then that haven't pitted will be your leader and the man in second place. It's Blue Flag and Blue Mosquito. Blue men going as far as they can. Shame we've not City Posh Blue in tonight as well. That would make a fine Blue man group. Not tonight. Just noticed on the weather forecasting there is basically no wind at all. It's flicking around everywhere and it's a whole 0 kilometers an hour, so that's not going to be affecting anyone into any of the corners. And I feel another yawn coming along. Oh dear, excuse me. Now, speaking of things that may well be boiling up then, Frome's gap to Iggy is slowly but surely coming down. It was 5 point odd, it's now 5, well it was 6 point something, well I think it was 6.7. Is now under 6, and Iggy's going to be trying to sort of push on that one. Frome did lead before the pits. I expect he would come out ahead of Blue Flag. A Blue Flag will have to go for a splash and dash. I'm assuming with Brandon Glover that pits for tyres cost you a lot of time. Sophie as well. Long way back now, Sophie. Not sure what happened to her. She seemed like she was going along nicely. had a very, very slow pit stop. Ponage Town is in 8th. A lot of guys just sort of driving on their own at the minute. Not really sort of racing anymore. Not really feeling like there's much racing on the clock either. You know, like a battle sort of developing. It's everyone's sort of split out across the track and set where they are. Unsafe for release. Then down in 9th. Cablo in 10th. You've got Lee Cole behind him, but they're not racing each other. There goes another yawn. Junkie Sport and Pagani, and of course Lee Cole, who we just saw. Flag is coming up then behind Ponage Town. Throne came up behind Ponage Town. He decided to pit rather than go to lap him, but that looks like he's been given an awful lot of room there. Makes his way through very nicely. Left, right and left through Tamburello. Of course, the F1 will be coming back to Imola in 3 weeks' time, is my understanding. I'm sure that's the calendar, as Imola is our second race of the year. Hopefully we won't have any whinging about track limits, because as you can see, there's not that many places you could legitimately track extend. It's mostly then just grass on the outside, not these sort of Tilcadrome. Very, very safe. I mean, that's the point of the tarmac on the outside, is to improve safety. Obviously, there's one bit there. To make it safer for all the drivers, give them somewhere that they can still keep control of the car if they do make a mistake, but it does seem a shame that drivers rather abuse that to take it as far as they can. This, of course, isn't a dig at anyone in particular. From what I've seen, almost every driver at Turn 4 this week was giving it as much as they could, just others gave it slightly more than others, but all the way around it's mostly down to the stewards that have made those mistakes. Just enforce the track limits, guys. It's not difficult. No one's going to have a go at you for just enforcing track limits, because the drivers can do it. It's not like you're going to have a big glut of penalties for track limits. As soon as the driver gets a warning, he's going to drive the corner properly. That's how these guys work. They're not out of control of the car. They are some of the best drivers in the world, so just tell them where it's safe to drive and they'll drive it fast there. I don't know why they sort of make such a fuss about enforcing limits. It's not like, you know, us on our game where we haven't really got a clue what we're doing. And even then, it's only really F1 2019 or something around Canada where it's pretty much impossible to not get a track warning penalty, because any mistake is counted as a corner cut. It's ridiculous, frankly, but yeah, the real life guys, they know what they're doing. So a little rant over. Blue Flag still leads. He's going very long. He'll be having a late splash and dash. Looks like Blue Mosquito's going a similar way. The only Captain Iggy and Frome looks like it's coming down. Indeed it is. It's 4.4 seconds now. There is a sort of slight benefit to not waiting until the very last minute for your splash and dash, and that is that you do cool your tyres a little bit. So if you're just struggling with tyre temps, you can go in the pits and just give your tyres a moment to cool. And when you come back out, you reheat them, but it takes a lap or two, obviously, to get hot, get hot and then sort of get excessively hot. So it's not always a bad idea to not run it as late as possible. You can just pick your moment, then just give your tyres that little break that they might just need, just to give yourself long enough for the end of the stint. But looks like Blue Flag and Blue Mosquito aren't interested in that sort of niggle. They're just going to keep going and going and going and enjoying the clear track that they are both driving in, as is, according to the radar, pretty much everybody. The closest gap, as we sort of see it, is this between Frome and Iggy. There's Iggy in the background. 4.5 second gap. Just over 20 minutes to go. It's 4.1, so it's closing in. Iggy will be interested to have a look at Frome and make his way through. Let's just have a little look then earlier at some of the action that happened in this race. So you sort of flick through while Frome is trying to stay out ahead of Iggy as much as we can. We just watch this great save we saw earlier from Pagani as he just got a little nudge. Just can see on here on the way to Villeneuve, sends him on the grass on the inside, big old wobble in the car, a little left, a little right, slides it across the chicane over the gravel, and there it is as he made an excellent save to keep the car pointing in the right direction. From laps Cablo now. Mosquito and blue flag carrying on. Frome's gone wide. Frome goes off the track. That's going to allow Iggy a good chance to catch up. Frome just struggling to get it through Variante Alta. A car with blue flag and blue Mosquito actually not looking too shabby. How those guys do when they come in for their late pit stop. We should have just watched that one, so let's just watch this next one. And this one was the slightly strange one then between Pagani and Ponish Town, and also at the back there we saw Cablo almost sort of going off in sympathy, so it'll be interesting to find out what exactly happened to Cablo. Just going back on live, the gap between Frome and Iggy, following that mistake that Frome just did at the chicane, is now under 3 seconds. So the Nissan is closing up to the Audi. Blue flag got a very, very healthy lead going. We'll just hit the timer on this one, see how he's doing, but certainly looking strong. Around 40 odd seconds. 3.2 is the gap between Frome and Iggy. But I think when blue flag pits, he's going to be out, assuming he hits the markers everything properly and doesn't have any issues. He's probably going to come out right in the middle of these two as well, so just based on where they were relative to each other when they pitted. Down and across the line goes Frome. And the gap then to blue flag is 47 seconds. He's still there in just around 3 seconds back. Cablo and Lee Cole have come in the pits. We get a bit of damage repaired. Just around 3 seconds, then still Frome keeping Iggy back there. It's a nice moment, of course, for AMS as he went around the outside, had that drive-through penalty on the way in, but just a little contact with unsafe release. Put him on the grass and then big old slide in the gravel and just rearranging some of the gravel there here at Imola. Spin it around a bit for you and oh, blue flag. has come into the pits. So back to live as let's see what blue flag does. There's Cablo and Lee Cole pitting. Blue Mosquito carries on, so he's going to enjoy a lap in the lead. This is a longer stop than I would have expected for blue flag. 13-14 seconds. Down the pit straight come Frome and Iggy. I think they are both going to get past. That was a longer stop than I was expecting blue flag to have. There goes Frome, takes the essentially net lead of the race. Iggy moves through, and then blue flag is going to come out in a net third. And Mosquito then is your race leader as it stands. The gap between him and Frome, 18 seconds, which certainly isn't enough to hold a lead, as we saw, because blue flag was some 40 odd seconds ahead, wasn't he? So you need about 55 seconds to hit and come out in the lead by the look of it around Imola. So that's certainly not going to happen, but we may well have a bit of a scrap for the lead developing as Frome and Iggy start to get close to each other with 15 minutes of this race to go. We are nearly an hour in to this fine session at Imola. The sun is starting to go down as well, looking very beautiful on track. And of course, one of the replays that we saw earlier, or things that we saw earlier that happened, was the man who is currently in the net lead of the race, getting this lovely run then on blue flag when they were actually scrapping on track. The three of them up the inside of Villeneuve and then sort of sweeping around the outside and taking the lead. And that was when Flying Frome took the lead. We had that rather strange moment later on when he then gave it up for whatever reason. Which will certainly be interesting to hear about, as that's now, had that not happened, well, you don't know whether the blue flag and Iggy incident would have happened as well. Speaking of, we might as well pop that one up as the so there it is. So it's blue flag led Iggy, went into Tamburello, went too wide, comes across the gravel, comes back in the lead, but as they're side by side and there's just a little contact as Iggy possibly came across the track too early, and that span Iggy out. Blue flag was very kindly waited for him. As a result, it cost both of them quite a lot of time though. Always good to see fair racing of if there's an incident, people letting you catch up and giving you a chance to race again. And as it is then, that's blue flag is 5.5 behind Iggy now, so that's not looking like he's going to be catching up Iggy anytime soon. Speaking of catching up, we do have this battle for the lead brewing now between Frome and Iggy. They are just about 2 seconds apart. Blue Mosquito, who does currently lead the race, and is carrying on. So he's enjoying his time out in front, is Blue Mosquito, but of course he will have to pit. We haven't forgotten about that. So the man with the current lead, but the man with the net lead is Flying Frome, but he has got Mighty Iggy bearing down on him, and it's similar to last week. Of course it was Frome behind Iggy at that point. Looks like there was an incident between Lee Cole and Cablo. The McLaren doing its best to give Lee some heart attacks and taking him into the Bentley of Cablo as well. So, unfortunate incident between the two of them. On track, this remains pretty much the only battle. Frankly, Brandon Glover was slowly catching up, I think, to C. Cripps, but not anymore. Where's Sophie relative to... She's a long way back then from Brandon Glover now, is Sophie, so I'm not sure what's happened there. Perhaps the tyre change, she may have got the wrong tyre pressures on or something, because she had a good pace early in the race, Sophie. She was keeping up with everyone, so that'll be my guess as to what's happened, but who knows. 1.5 seconds is the lead at the, well, one is not quite the front, but between second and third place as they are. Blue Mosquito just ruining the commentary really, more than anything, but yeah, enjoy your time out front. 4 minutes to go, and now he will come in the pits. Little splash and dash then for the McLaren, and probably coming out. Now I said it was 50 seconds, didn't I? So this is probably going to bring him out in 6th behind Brandon Glover, would be my guess. Whereas Brandon is there, yes, I would expect that probably is. As through goes Flying Frome to take the lead of the race. Mighty Iggy in 2nd, Blue Flag will be coming through in a bit in 3rd, there he goes. Mosquito in the pits, and there is car 92 is C. Cripps, and Brandon Glover is car 69 coming through, and out comes Blue Mosquito. With Sophie's car 37 is a long way back there, so Blue Mosquito will fit into a very large gap in 6th place. And it really is just these two guys, so we are hopefully going to have a bit of a scrap for the lead towards the end of this race, as everyone else has decided to socially distance for the night. Spreading themselves out across the track as much as possible. So if you were a marshal, it would be an absolute nightmare if you were trying to remove a bit of debris or something off the track, because there aren't any gaps other than that one there between Sophie and Cablo. That's basically the only reasonable gap a marshal might have. Frome is off! Frome goes off for very anti-alta. Another mistake at the chicane, and that's just let Iggy straight through. So with 10 minutes to go, Iggy, who was closing up, the pressure just told on Frome. What a mistake to make! And Flying Frome just gives Iggy the lead. Frankly, I wasn't paying attention too much. We were just sort of waiting for those two to close up. But Frome is a second then behind Iggy, and he's going to have to do what he can to close that gap up. Let's just pop and have a look and see what happened then, as this gap, which is a second now between Frome and Iggy, as into the chicane he came. Just gets a slide on the way in. He just loses the rear end on the entry, and Iggy will say thank you very much. Move into the lead of this race with 10 minutes to go, and a very frustrated Audi driver behind him. Just thinking, championship wise, as you can see the standings coming across the top of your screen now. Iggy with 205, Blue Flag's 156. So I think, if I know the stats properly, I suspect we may be looking, might be looking at it anyway, for Iggy to take the championship. What did I say, 156? So, what is that, 50 on? Yeah, no, that's pretty much sorted. So, with Iggy outscoring Blue Flag, barring some kind of disconnect now, really any points that Iggy scores, there is no way for Blue Flag to catch him up. So points wise, it's Iggy is currently on 40 for this race, and Blue Flag will be on 30, taking that 3rd place. So extending that lead, which was 49 points, up to 59. Yeah, that would do the trick. And even if Flying Frome does catch Iggy and make his way past, that would still leave Blue Flag too far back. So at the minute, Iggy looking all very well and good to secure the championship tonight. With next week's race in Bathurst, which will be a 2-hour epic. And possibly a wreck fest, but we'll see how that goes, as Frome not letting him go. Finding some pace that perhaps he was keeping Iggy at arm's length before, and there's Carlos Pagani does a very nice job of getting out of the way. He certainly doesn't want to get involved in this race for the lead. And this takes us back to last week then, as it's Frome right behind Iggy with less than a second and a few minutes of this race to go. Can he find anywhere to make that pass and get back in the lead, which he's held at a couple of points this race? And frankly, in both cases, he's just given up under absolutely no pressure whatsoever. So the first one, on the route down to Rivazza, he just stopped for some reason, which would be interesting to find out. And the second one was he just took this chicane with just a bit too much on the way in. But we are with 6.5 minutes to go. This is the battle for the lead between the Nissan of Mighty Iggy and the Audi of Flying Frome, and there's hardly anything between them. Frome's just found that extra gear that he couldn't sort of pull away from Iggy before. I bet he wishes he was now. He's just going to have to push and push to try and get a bit of pressure, try and force Iggy into... Doesn't have to be a big mistake, just a small mistake. Put him off the line, maybe go slightly too deep. It looks like there's a battle happening at the back between Brandon Glover and C. Cripps as well. So I'll try and keep an eye on those two, but this one for the lead is the one we're going to try and focus on. With 5 and a bit minutes to go. Frome hurrying through the Villeneuve chicane. Does he have enough run? He doesn't at the minute to try and have a look. Just go and see what's going on with C. Cripps and Brandon Glover. These two have got close to each other as well, so they're under a second. So that one's sort of come together nicely, but the race for the lead very much on between Frome and Iggy. We'll just go back to these two as they go through Villeneuve, but no issues there. Well, camera, show me Iggy. There he is. Into Accaminarelli, these two guys who've been going at this now for the best part of 70 minutes. Frome like he got a good exit there. Frome like he got a very good exit. He's just going to try and show his car up the inside, but there's nowhere to go. It's not a heavy enough braking zone. Over the curbs, Iggy very aggressively over the curbs and gets a little lead on Frome. Car 94 is Lee Coles off the track at the Tamburello. 92 and 69 are very close to each other. And that's another two into Variante Alta. Brandon Glover takes the very aggressive line over the curbs. I don't think Frome looks like he's close enough to Iggy on this moment. No, he is not. So let's go back and watch these two as Brandon Glover is right behind C. Cripps. He's going to try and go round the outside down to Rivazza, and we're not going to see what's going to happen because the camera angle is terrible. Little left, I think. Yeah, there you go. C. Cripps is still ahead for now. They come down to Tamburello. Let's watch what Frome and Iggy do. No issues there for Iggy, so gap's fine. We'll just pop back to these two. The left into the right. Frome's going to try and put some pressure on. Nothing into Tosa this time. And there's a little... Was that contact? Cripps is going to go across the track. And he's going to come out ahead of Brandon Glover. And it doesn't look like he's planning on giving that one back, so I think that must have been a bit of contact then into Tamburello. Villeneuve then, left, right, big slide on the Ferrari now. Glover flashing his lights, he must think he's entitled to that position back. I think they're going to have to sort that on track or let the stewards handle it. One of the two, as Iggy has got Frome just a few tenths behind him. The light's starting to really fade now. Cripps and Glover. That Ferrari's getting very slidey, looking very messy. Keep an eye on that actually as they go up the hill to the chicane. Weird camera work. Brandon Glover takes a very aggressive line again. That gap between Frome and Iggy, too much by the look of it on the radar. As we come across, and we will have 2 laps to go. These two fighting out for 4th and 5th. Frome and Iggy once again nose to tail with a lap or 2 to go. The light is definitely going down, getting very dark here around Imola. There seems to be where Froome has more pace through the chicanes and the twisty section, but nowhere to really get through. Iggy looks like he went a little bit wide on the way into Tosa, but nothing happening there for him. Cripps looks like he got Tamburello correct this time. Glover takes the wide line. Left and right through Villeneuve. Oh, desperately. A bit of a gap there. Someone will go back up to the front as they go through Acaminerali. Up the hill, Froome looks like he's got a really good run this time. Has he got enough though? As they get to the chicane. If that chicane wasn't there, you wonder how much Froome would have into Rivazza, but nothing this time. Try and get the exit. Iggy just seems like he's got it coming on out the curbs. Iggy's able to just be that little bit more aggressive. Look at this between Cripps and Brandon Glover. Nothing happening there as we'll go and see what they do. Sorry for flicking between them as they get to the chicane. Who's going to be aggressive? Cripps looks like he just struggled. Brandon Glover taking advantage of that one. And Froome is in the pits.
Alright man, the leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
And has he run out of fuel? From pits, has he made an almighty mistake? Quick little pit stop perhaps. Splash and dash. Looks like it. Froome. And giving up places. And see Cripps, and this battle then between Cripps and Brandon Glover is for the final podium position. As Froome will come out in 5th, Blue Mosquito 6th, Sophie in 7th, and Sophie has really closed up then to Blue Mosquito. Beamer has just come back to life again. So all sorts of goings on at the end of this race. So Cripps and Brandon Glover, who we saw Cripps go wide, cut across Tamburello and come back on the track in front of Brandon Glover. He's flashing his lights, shouldn't really be flashing his lights there. Where is Mighty Iggy? He's coming to Rivazza. Brandon Glover's going to have a look at C. Cripps. Is he just going to send one into the chicane? No, he does not. There's nowhere to go. Can he get the power down? We're going to have to watch what happens into Rivazza, but we'll go overboard with Iggy as he's going to cross the line to win this race and win the championship. Mighty Iggy will take the championship. Blue Flag's going to come in 2nd place, but who is it going to be? Is it going to be Cripps or Brandon Glover? Looks like it's going to be C. Cripps on track, as there's nowhere for Glover to try and force a move through, as C. Cripps then comes across the line, assuming he doesn't run out of fuel, to take 3rd place. Brandon Glover 4th, Flying Froome is coming through in 5th. Let's just see what's going on with Sophie and Blue Mosquito as they're getting very close. Around the final corners, looks like Unsafe Release giving it everything he's got. Blue Mosquito will take 6th place. Sophie will come across the line, a very respectable 7th. Flying Froome running out of fuel, I assume. Very interesting issue there for him. Ponish down then. And there's a lot of gaps there. Let's see what Iggy does. And I believe that's your champion for this season, Mighty Iggy, as he moves on to 240 something points now. I don't think anyone can catch him. As Blue Flag with that 2nd place. Yeah, I don't think he's anywhere near. Finishing out this race, you've got Ponish Town, Lee Cole, and finally Unsafe Release. He was there before, so has he done a couple of donuts? And I kind of wish I'd gone to Iggy before we kind of came to there, but congratulations then to Iggy, and great race everyone. Really enjoyed covering that one. All sorts of incidents, and the inquiries will be going ahead now between probably, I imagine the stewards will want to have a look at that Cripps and Brandon Glover incident. Sophie with a good drive there, coming up just a second behind Blue Mosquito, flying foam. The calculator will be to blame there, I'm sure, as he had to pop in the pits for presumably another litre or two of fuel. He'll be kicking himself for that one. So Iggy, who was there, wasn't there, it seemed like no one wanted to win this race, and Iggy is the man who did. Next week, we will be coming to you from Bathurst. We've got the final race of the season, of season 4. 2 hours of Bathurst. I imagine the time progression will make it 24 hours. I'm not quite sure, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, good luck to the guys doing that one. That's going to be a hell of an effort to go through there. And anyone that can survive 2 hours coming up and down the mountain there, that's going to be great fun for them. Until then, everyone enjoy your week. It's been a pleasure having anyone here, and I hope you enjoyed the stream and enjoy the race. And we'll speak to you next week if, well, no, it won't be before. I've not got any other coverage on till then. So stay safe as ever. Enjoy your week, and we'll be back at Bathurst for the final race of season 4, rather, of Assetto Corsa with